A bruised canopy of thunderclouds churns over the Endrid archipelago, their undersides veined with silent lightning. The wind howls a low, predatory growl, or we plunge through the ragged gray, bursting into sudden moon-washed clarity. Below us lies Phantom Port, canyon-hewn hive of flickering lanterns and swaying rope bridges clawing to the rain-glossed walls of the Belmere River Gorge. Shafts of torchlight spear upward from craggy dock pylons scattering over plank walks and the lacquered hulls of vessels crowding the water like hungry gulls. We dive further, wind-sprayed rain beads. We flash past a glider, banking on the updrafts. Silent rider cloaked in charcoal silk, crossbow cradled in one arm. Their lantern signaling blinks. From here, start to see layers of Phantom. Hightown, opulent terraces atop the western rim, lit by whale oil lamps and patrolled heavily by mercenaries in weather-stained livery. Below the Narrows, a lattice of chain-suspended platforms, tavern balconies, and jury-rigged cargo lifts buzzing with night market chaos. Jungle creepers spill over the cliff edge, dripping bright rain onto slate roofs below. Somewhere, a horn sounds, 3 slow notes, signaling for the midnight tide. We snap to an alley in the Narrows, a hooded courier, salt water sheen on their mask, hands a wax-sealed envelope to a one-eyed broker. The sigil on the seal, a white current curling around a hollow circle, the mark of the Ivory Current. Their conversation is too hushed to hear, but a single word carries on the wind. Anathema. They barter in sins that bleed and treasures that breathe. Gold is merely our invitation. Survival will be your final bid. Rumor drifts like incense as the Ivory Current has secured a prize torn from myth, a relic ripped from the Heartbriar, the Summer Prince. Raiders ambushed a fey convoy at dawn 2 weeks past. Only scorched footprints and twisted petals marked the clearing where it vanished. Now, beneath this city of Phantom Port, it waits, behind silver-runed glass, for the highest or most ruthless bidder. We shift, vault doors yawning, molten sigil locks sliding into place, crystal case revealed beneath bioluminescent moss lamps. Inside, the Heart of Thorns beats once, slow, shaking dust from the timbers. Droplets bead, then evaporate into scented. Auctioneers in masks circle the dais, rehearsing gestures, voices trembling beneath their masked visages. Across the archipelago, fast sloops and shadow ships slip from hidden coves, bearing envoys, mercenaries, and treasure hunters clutching wax-sealed billets. Each parchment bears midnight ink coordinates, a single date, and the phrase, "Silence is currency." Breathe too loudly, and the sea will collect. For on this night, the Narrows will swarm with dignitaries, blade-bearing bodyguards, and schemers eager to claim power above all else. Begin to pull back to our harbor once more. Storm clouds roil, lanterns gutter. The river's breath echoes like a distant drum. The sleek
I think
river
your Twitch stream is broke.
Is my Twitch stream broke?
I think so. I sent you a screenshot of what I see at least. YouTube's working.
Well,
Yeah, it still says offline. I don't know.
Yeah. Technical difficult. Well, I don't think I could reset it unless I don't want to read all that again. So I guess we're just streaming this on YouTube then.
Exclusive edition.
I always stream everything on YouTube anyway. You said YouTube is working though, son?
Yep.
Okay, well, we're gonna keep going. As we cut back to the docks, a sleek river sloop cuts through the Belmere's moonlit current, its hull painted in unremarkable trade color. But the cabin within glows with ruby lamplight as Jakob sits at a felt-lined desk, shuffling an ivory-edged deck whose suits do not exist in any common game. Each ripple of cards is a meditation, one for the vacant jack seat, one for the queen's favor, one for the unknown eyes already tracing rival. The boat noses against a lower narrows dock. Rainwater drips in silver threads between swaying lanterns, and Phantom Port's cliffside maze looms above like a beehive, shadow and rope bridge. Cloaked dockhand slides a wooden token across the gangplank, a stylized ivory wave etched at its center. As this is handed to you, would you like to introduce yourself and tell us what you look like? What your goal is, at least on the surface?
Let's see. You see a slim human, tall but not overly so, dressed in a simple, slick black suit, black hair, cut close, neat, everything in order. And at his side, you see a cane. Simple, black, elegant, only hint of flash to it. I believe it was a ruby. Was it? That was the stone. In the shape of a diamond on its end. And what was the other question?
What are you doing here?
Well, he introduces himself a collector of sorts. Beyond that, he's being vague.
Okay.
Seems rare for one to disclose one's true intentions at events like this. But best you can tell, he seems above board.
Tonight, auction awaits. Pulse, drowned out thunder in the distance. You begin making your way to the location you've been given. Are you doing anything on the way?
On the way, just casing anyone else I see, taking note of who they are, obvious affiliations, seeing who I'm betting against.
And about that time, off a different pier not too far from you, a broad-shouldered Cirthean, clad in barnacle-studded scale mail. Jacob, why don't you roll me a nature or history check? 20. You know a bit about the Cirthean people. They're not native to Vathardan. They claim to have, at least the information you've received claims, that they are originally from another plane of existence, much like the High Elves, the Velestri of legend, but that got trapped here. And you see one of these Cirthean individuals, broad-shouldered, clad in studded scale mail-ish kind of tribal heavy armor, hauling a lacquered teak chest onto the dock, water sheeting from his skin. And beside him stands a woman you do recognize as Mara Silver, a well-known broker that the Brotherhood has used in the past, in a storm gray cloak of gray silk. Rain beads across her spectacles as she passes him a smaller case containing a modest bidding purse. The Cirthean man scans the towering canyon walls, blade strapped, and in his fist a thumb-sized fragment of almost living coral, just pulsing faintly. Mara motions toward a crane lift that will hoist you to the mid-level gantry. Up there, my stalwart. The Current's man will escort us the rest of the way. And would you like to introduce yourself, Ranzen?
Sure. As Ranzen nods towards Mara, and turns his head a little, anyone that's looking towards him would notice his his white hair, sleek yet wild as it falls over his shoulders, and also several tribal tattoos, decorating any flesh that was not covered by his mail armor. Especially over his throat and collarbone area, there's plenty of scars, as if a blade has been slashed across his chest several times, nearly saved by either armor or luck. And he has a stern expression, almost as if he is expecting the worst. And his eyes are always looking around, as if trying to identify any threats. The man seems very close to Mara Silver, protective, as if he was a bodyguard of hers, and acts like it as his sword is strapped yet ready to spring into action at any point in time.
Grabbing the crate and following Mara to the gantry lift. Jacob, hearing this, you get the gist that this gantry is probably the way up to the next level. Are you trying to go along with them, or are you going to wait behind, and what are you doing?
I'll speak up. Excuse me. Perhaps room for one more?
Ranzen turns.
Yeah, and as
You
the man
see-
approaches, Mara kind of steps behind Ranzen a bit.
And who are you exactly?
Just something of a private collector. And, a cripple, as you can see. I mean you no harm.
A private collector and a cripple.
You see, he does walk with a very pronounced limp, heavily leaning on his cane.
Well, if you don't mind, can you step a bit further back? And he shows like a bit more. And he just basically like stands there protectively in front of Mara with the 6'2" frame.
No, by all means, feel free to join us on the lift. We don't wish to hug it all to ourselves. Boots the large-ish chest. Obviously a large amount of coin in it. A little closer between her and Ranzen. And
Best
as...
to keep
Go ahead.
Best keep proceedings moving along. Let's not leave our benefactors waiting.
Yes,
As
quite right.
he'll take his spot on the gantry, sort of on opposite ends of his current company. Can I, just from the size and what I can tell visually about that chest, can I do I know? Can I estimate how much coinage it contains?
Sure, roll a... I'll say investigation or insight.
18.
A chest this size could probably hold in like the thousands of coins range, maybe a little bit over 10,000 coins. It's not open. If this is full of gold, it's full of a ridiculous amount of gold. Like, probably breaching 20 to 30,000 possibly you could fit in a chest this size, which goes to why she might need somebody the size of the man in front of you to escort her and carry it for her.
Indeed. Alright, noted.
Right. As the gantry rises, shift. Deep within a lantern-lit hold, iron bars form a cage, no wider than a coffin. Inside, a lithe figure crouches. A silhouette, lithe and angular, arms hanging below knees, ending in six-fingered hands tipped with translucent claws that catch and refract light, broken opals. A vaguely elven skull elongated toward the back, crowned by two asymmetrical crescent horns of pale bone. Eyes are lidless discs of silver milk, irises rippling with every shine of the moonlight. Patchwork of pearl white chitin plates and veiny lavender flesh. Here and there, tufts of moon pale fur erupt, especially along spines and forearm, giving a ragged feral outline. Cold manacles bite at delicate wrists on this figure. Sigils crawl across the bars like dull gray vines. To any onlookers, this is a moon sprite courtier. A rare fey curiosity. Definitely destined for some collector's menagerie. Yet, behind these opalescent eyes, slow breaths as the cage is lashed to the gantry's winch. As it rises with you all to the humid, narrows air, fleeting glimpses the canyon wall hollowed into terrace. Masked dock hands, moving crates, distant pulse of thunder. The Heart of Thorns somewhere deeper in the gorge. Every jolt of the hoist rattles the bars. Every jolt rehearsed. When frenzy climbs to its peak, and the marquee is turned towards the bars will bend. So, sorry, son, I would totally have you describe your character, but you look nothing like your character right now.
It's okay.
jumping. Rain blurs as we move across the Narrows. Lantern light flickers across basalt walls, whalebone balustrade encircling tiered seating, cave-like interior, large, elegant carpets and seating, as well as tables and sentries on statuesque pillars. Shift over. That's what I wanted. Into here. Putting her mask on to give the semblance of hiding who she is. As you three enter, and the other figure in the cage is hauled to a different area. Let us switch over to the Anathema auction hall. As you guys walk in, as I said, you see on these large stone pillars, guards, sentries, some with crossbow, some wielding arcane influenced items. You see far in the distance on a stage a number of pillars with items queued up on them, as well as a regal man dressed in a deep red tuxedo with a horned mask that covers most of his face, while the horns curve back as he is smiling and yelling and talking, as the energy in here at this moment is loud. People are adjusting, speaking to each other. Some are sitting quietly getting ready for the show. Others sit off on tables set to the side. What is it you all would like to do as you come in through the southern entrance?
I'll look over the attendees. Any standouts?
Roll a perception check. Are you looking for anything specific?
High profile figures that I would know about,
Okay.
mostly.
Roll a perception check. Yeah, I don't know if
21?
you physically can fail perception check. From here, there are quite a few figures you don't recognize. We'll start with that. But there are some that, given the description of them, you get a semblance, an idea of who they are. One of them is a man known as... Gonna butcher my own NPC's names. That's what I do. Aha. Draven Kael'thas. You see this. I hesitate to say humanoid. This figure with grayed skin, oily long hair, and teeth that, like, no lips, just bare teeth that smirk and smile and look over in your direction as you enter. You see a few notable pirates, some members of larger crews, And let's see. Indy's list. You see Nyxi Archer, a Lupin man, specifically a Granheim Lupin man. Just desert, dingo, coyote kind of visage to himself. You see Gorthal Grayfin, a massive, hulking, dragonborn man with a steel and bronze contraption recreating gills on his neck. And you see and then to top it all off, you see Eleanor Basara, a very well-known woman, the owner of the Basara Trading Company, as well as Eris Voss, Captain Eris Voss, the warden of Phantom Port, sitting near the front. Those are the figures that you recognize. So Nyxi Archer is right here. Raven Kael'thas is right here. Eris Voss is over here. Where did I see Gorthal Grayfin is up. Basra is up at the very front.
Where's Basra again?
Up at the very front.
Okay, up there. Ah, so
Nearest
this.
to
Okay,
the stage.
got it.
Those are the ones you immediately recognize. A few others are wearing masks and their visages are a little harder to get a key in on. But those figures definitely stand out.
Would Ranzen have like a similar knowledge base when it comes to the people around him, or lesser so?
Lesser so. So these people come from far and wide. Ranzen does not usually go far and wide.
That's correct. So basically, to him, everyone's gonna be like just normal people, just wanting to.
You, given the information that you've been provided, you probably have an understanding that none of these are going to be good people.
Okay, that's
kind of the biggest thing.
Got it. Perfect.
So, where would you guys like to find yourselves this evening?
Yeah, I will regard my temporary companions. Well then, best of luck. And I will hobble off to a seat sort of in the middle. This empty row right here.
Perfect.
As for Ranzen, he is going to. Let me see here. Yeah, he's gonna follow Mira. Like wherever Mira goes, he's gonna go. But he's gonna be making sure that he's gonna help carry her stuff, of course, but he is going to be paying attention to his surroundings as they walk. Like seeing who looks towards her, who is probably trying to, study her, stuff like that.
Yeah, is actually going to kind of go straight to the head of the... Actually going to sit in the front. He motions for you to stand behind her chair.
Okay. Like here. Okay. And he'll do so with this nod.
Thank you very much, my stalwart. Stand by in case I have needs of you.
As you wish.
About this time, a separate chamber. Find our... Oh. This is what and we will come over here. Being thrust into this room cage, you are in a form unfamiliar to your usual. As these two individuals kind of push you in the back, one of them looks at you and goes, "Why, you're gonna sell for a pretty penny, and my pockets are gonna be quite heavy after this. Anthony, watch this one closely. Please guard the door until the auctioneers can come in and retrieve her for bidding." As this figure walks out. What are you doing, Nyxi?
So first I'm definitely gonna kinda make sure it passes enough time for that guard to leave. Get a little bit out of earshot at least.
Okay.
Survey the room enough and you said my cage had like runes and stuff on it. Would I at least know what they would have put me in?
Yeah, the runes are more to make the cage quote unquote unbreakable. They're reinforcement runes for the actual cage itself. Fey creatures are few and far between and hard to find, so specific protections against that are more difficult to manage.
So, at this point, I didn't notice that nobody's in the room with me, at least.
Yep.
I'm gonna go ahead and Misty step out of my cage.
Okay. Do you change your form?
Yeah, I am gonna get the dice, so to speak.
Okay, so go ahead and give us a description of what Nyxi in her normal form looks like.
Nyxi's a lot more elegant and slightly haunting than the odd creature she came in as. Skin's a warm bronze, seemingly lit from within by like a moonlight almost. Hair is long, half and half, so half is ink black and the other half is white streak and curls. Eyes still say the same silver iris, like reflecting still water. Clothes a little bit more ready for battle, so wearing studded leather, but then over the top is a dark draped and like fitted silk with faint thorn patterns in it. And then she definitely has that poised, almost overconfident demeanor, like, yeah, I just fucking pulled that off.
Okay. So you are seemingly in the storeroom for all the items that will be auctioned. Down the hall that you saw the guard goes, there's a heavy stone door that has been closed behind him.
I'm definitely gonna take in my surroundings first, kinda see if I notice anything that's in here off the bat.
Okay, go ahead and roll a perception check for me. You looking for anything specific?
Anything that would one kinda aid in the mission in and of itself, but then also the item that I was sent here to retrieve, the Heart of Thorns.
All right, go ahead and roll perception for me. 6.
Oh, that was terrible.
Yeah, nothing in here is like clearly labeled. There's probably some sort of auctioning pamphlet that they use for reference for all the items in here. You do not see anything that resembles the Heart of Thorns in this chamber. You do see there's statues, like small knights on horseback statues. There's plenty of potion vials, some weird alchemical constructions, cages. There's a few coffins, and then in the center of the room, a massive arcane circle that kind of encompasses 3 different stone pillars with items on top of them that seem to be being kept at bay by whatever this magic circle is.
What about any ledgers? Any ledgers around?
There are a couple bookshelves, and there are other tomes and the like in this chamber, and looking around, looking through them, none of them jump out to you at first, but go ahead and roll me an investigation check looking more directly at books and stuff.
Investigation. 16.
16. You find one book, and it is called The Fall of Valthanis. And it seems to originally have been just a historical record, but it is covered in marginal notes as well as other information being added to it. And you see them start connecting dots of like locations of Fey gates and other gates and entrances to other planes of existence. It seems to be like a running record and research on planar travel and the Fey in general.
Yeah, we're taking that one. Well, at least one directive down for now. And then I'm gonna start moving kind of towards the entrance to see if I pick up on any thing coming from the door. I'm gonna try to find somewhere where I can at least somewhat remain hidden as I'm getting closer to the door to make sure that somebody comes through. I'm not caught by surprise.
Okay. Are you trying to take another form or blend in by any means?
I'm definitely trying to be stealthy.
Alright, go ahead and roll a stealth check.
180.
You are very, very silent at this moment.
What?
So I'm moving to
I guess
the
I'll try
door.
to. Yeah, go ahead. I let's at least try to peek out, see if there's anything that I can see directly outside the door.
Okay, so very lightly pulling the door open. You see like a cavernous hallway, not too long, but down towards the end of it you do see a guard standing there, not facing you but facing towards the auction hall itself.
Well, getting out of here might be harder than originally planned.
Plan. I will say, looking at the guard who is standing there, it is not the same guard who helped put you in.
Well, that's always good. Yeah, I think I'm gonna end up shifting to look like the guard that put me in here.
Okay.
In hopes I can at least deceive him.
Okay, so taking on a more masculine form, what does it look like as you shift identities?
So, as I shift, like, it's honestly not a super pretty sight. You could almost kinda hear the bones cracking as things restructure. Almost like there's, like, you'd definitely be able to see the movement of everything underneath the skin.
That's disgusting.
Perfection.
It was supposed
Alright.
to be disgusting.
So, taking on this new form, you pull open the stone door enough for you to walk through. You just start approaching the guard.
I walk with purpose, not to approach the guard, but to kind of bypass him.
Oh, you sound normal now.
That was the plan. I'm not in my female form.
Gotcha.
Walk up as a muscular man. Hi, how's it going?
Gosh darn. Sorry, I was just coughing my lungs out for a second there. Apologies. Right, so as you approach the guard, he kind of turns as the stone door is closed behind you. Didn't you just... Weren't you just... I'm sorry, didn't you just walk out of there?
No. What do you mean, did I just walk out of there? Have you been sleeping on the job again?
Go ahead and roll a deception check for me.
This is where I'm gonna fail, even though it's something I'm supposed to be good at.
No,
27.
Oh, crap, you needed a 30. I'm kidding.
Imagine. Oof.
Right, sorry, it's been a long few nights. You know how it is, getting ready for the auction. Everything's a little, just a lot of work to be done. Well,
Understandable.
I thought you were
Make
wearing
sure-
completely different armor, but I like what you're wearing now. Did you just go back there to change or something?
I had to get a little bit more into the attire for the event. And though it has been a busy evening, let's at least make sure that we're a little bit more wary for the people trying to go in.
Right, of course. Here's the thing, though. I don't know if this has crossed your mind at all, but man, you are great at accents, because I talked to you a while ago and you sounded completely different. Like you definitely were from the Sultanate or around that area. Now you sound completely like you're from somewhere else. So maybe you should get into like the Theta or something.
Just trying to blend in and not expose ourselves.
What do you mean? We're the guards. It's fine if we're exposed.
Back to work.
That's okay, good. Don't know who's shitting his oats. Alright, so moving back into the auction hall.
I'm gonna shift around towards the back, I guess.
Okay. You do eye some of the figures that you rode up on the gantry with. You see the Cirthian man as well as his benefactor in the very front. And walking through, you see towards the middle, the man with the cane who is now seated as well. As you move back, are you trying to get out of like sight to shift again, or what are you planning here?
Yeah,
You're past
we're
the point where
definitely-
they check invitations, but
Yeah, we're moving back towards the back to start to kind of get out of eyesight, at least from
All right.
view a little.
go ahead and roll a stealth check for me.
20.
Yeah. Most people are not. You do not have many prying eyes on you. If somebody is able to see you, it's hard telling whether or not they actually can. But nobody's looking your way. Nobody seems to have noticed you slipping to the back.
Hmm.
You shifting back?
Probably not. I mean, like you said, they'd notice if I shifted to my personal form.
Maybe. To your knowledge, nobody here has seen your personal form.
Except for Tommy on the fourth row.
Oh, I am gonna shift to personal form as I take a seat back here in the back.
Do
You say you're
I?
gonna keep your current form?
Now I shifted.
Okay.
Am I able to clock this at all?
You said that you were looking around, so I'll let you
I did.
roll a perception check. 14.
Ooh.
You do not clock this. You do not clock the transformation. You do see somebody sit down in the back. But they seem to just apparate. They must have just entered. Must have been a late entry into the chamber. But you do see a figure sit down back there.
And Ranzen as well.
I don't- Do I recognize anything about this person? Are they in any way familiar to me?
No. This person you have never seen, nor heard of somebody who looks like this person.
All right. Nothing
There
that I can
is
see
like
that indicates any sort of affiliation.
Do you have anything that would mark your affiliation on you, Nyxi?
No. I mean, if they were smart enough with like fate markings and stuff, they might pick up on like subtle hints in the cloak itself, but they'd have to be pretty close to even see the subtle hints.
Okay.
And
They-
most people would probably mark it off as like elven kind, not really fey kind.
Yeah, they seem to be not elaborately dressed. They look elven-ish in heritage, but it's hard to quite put your finger on who they may be affiliated with directly. You could always move back there and talk to them.
Not right now. I'm still casing the other folks, just getting idea on who all is here.
Got it. Well, as you all are looking around, getting seated, there is movement towards the front area. My notes go. This is always great. And it disappeared. The whalebone balustrade gleams under lantern light as hush spreads through the vaulted chamber. Sorry. This tiered stage. Teak circle of daises, stone daises behind the announcer. You see on the raised platform curtains of indigo being swept aside, and a figure who introduces himself as Mariner Morrow. I am the lead auctioneer for the Ivory Current. He strides forward, and his deep red waistcoat over his tuxedo, trimmed with silver thread, his mask bearing this horned visage, and his eyes blaze underneath with a showman's fervor. He slams a driftwood gavel against a coral inlaid podium. Crack echoes through the hall. Ladies, lords, corsairs, and connoisseurs of the extraordinary, welcome, one and all, to the night of the silent auction. Tonight, fortune will favor the bold. So, as he begins to speak, murmurs begin to ripple. Servitors in gray vests glide along the aisles, offering slate tablets and chalk sticks for discreet bids. Right, lot one. The lights begin to dim on the stage as a glass cloche is unveiled, revealing a teardrop pendant radiant with shifting hues. There's a hush and a haunting melody drifting from within. Recovered from the wreck of the Queen's agony. This is the Siren Glass locket. Starting bid, 4,000 gold. Pirate royalty, do I hear 4 or 5? People start bidding. You see a masked Zorogi merchant raises 2 fingers for 4,500. Ranzen, you and Mara sit there for a moment as Mara raises her slate that is marked 5,000 gold pieces. 5,000! Once! Twice! And at that point you see a man at the far table over here. A pallid man with red eyes and long white hair that is tied back. Kind of a regal look and a knowing smirk as he raises his, marking 12,000 gold pieces. You guys doing anything?
Ranzen would look towards Mara as if almost silently asking, like, what would you like to do?
Roll an insight check.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
While this is going on, do I know anything about the item currently on auction?
Roll an Arcana check. Also, roll an insight check because the Zorogi merchant is the one directly in front of you.
Arcana and insight?
Arcana and perception.
Perception.
I forgot to toggle mine.
Well, that's the Arcana.
Okay.
It's my insight.
Okay.
And that's my perception.
You don't know really anything about this locket. You remember seeing it in the pamphlet that was given to you by the Queen of Diamonds, but since it wasn't your direct target, you didn't look too deeply into it. So other than the fact that the entry in the actual pamphlet marked it as the Siren Glass locket recovered from the wreck of the Queen's Agony, there wasn't much more information provided. Although with your perception check, the Zerogi merchant in front of you, looking as he raises his hand, you note a ruby signet ring with the marker of the Iron Brand on it. Ranzen, looking down towards Mara, you see her. She's half erased her bid for 5,000, but she's hesitant to go in on it again, especially with it being raised to 10,000 by the pallid man at the table across the room. Nyxi, are you doing anything?
Just observing right now.
Okay.
Ranzen's gonna hold off for now.
Okay, and as more murmuring in the crowd, there's a couple bids that raise it up to around 20,000 gold pieces, and at that point, the pallid man raises it again to 50,000 gold, and at that point, Morrow goes 50,000, going once, going twice, and sold to Mr. Morrigan. As the now appointed Mr. Morrigan will lower his slate, and as an attendant will walk over to him and hands him a sale ticket to pick up the item after the auction. Right, next up, lot 2, the Echo Wrought Cutlass. As you see a deckhand bring out and presents a blade that is humming softly. Forged in the tempest forges of Zohan's Landing, slice the air, and the storm obeys, opening at 6,500 gold pieces. There's more murmuring, and a few people are hesitant. Are you guys doing anything?
I'll see what I know about this thing.
Okay. Go ahead and roll Arcana. Or I will let you roll History as well, if you would like. I don't know if Arcana
Well,
and
they're
History
both a
are...
+2, so...
Okay. This weapon... It is not a super well-known item. You have heard of like forges in Zohan's Landing. You're not sure this, from what you know, there aren't Tempest forges of Zohan's Landing. This sounds like maybe it's a story made up for the item itself. The item is definitely magic, but where it comes from, you're not quite sure.
Well, I'll just watch, observe, take note of who is going for this item.
7,000 once, 7,500. Ah, daring. 7,500 twice. Sold. The storm sings for the gentleman in row 2.
Row 2. Oh, him. Okay.
This man right here.
Oh.
Morrow
So what is
lifts
his demeanor?
The man in row 2?
Yeah.
Very serious. He is wearing a mask that covers much of the upper half of his face. And he bid on the last item. He was the one who bid 20,000 gold before Mr. Morrigan raised it to 50,000. But he's sitting there kind of contemplative. He has like a simple cane that his hands are resting on between when he lifts his bidding board. And as an attendant brings him his claim ticket, he kind of nods. Exquisite taste, my dear patrons, but these are mere ripples before the tidal wave. Steel your purses and your nerves for the treasures yet to surface.
Ranzen is just looking around real quick, just to actually get a gather of like if anything exciting is happening next, because he is unfamiliar with the environment.
Right. Well, you're all in for a treat tonight, for we have a rare and distinguished item unseen in any lands of Ithardin. You hear a violinist start to play. They hold a single trembling harmonic as two cloak-draped stewards wheel a crystal cylinder onto the stage. A hush takes the room once more. No coughs, no whispered wagers, only the soft scrape of the case's iron-bound wheels on the stone floor. Inside the cylinder, thorn-black vines coil into a perfect sphere, pierced by glints of rose luminescence that throb like a slow drum. Tiny motes of luminous sap drift upwards, colliding with the crystal wall in sizzling sparks. Silver restraints, each etched with rune loops, cling to several thorns, glowing dully as though resisting. Ladies and gentlemen, shades and sirens, behold the jewel of our constellation, torn from the realms where mortal foot dares not tread, cradled in the moonlit jungles beyond reason. We present Lot Omega, the Heart of Thorns. Legend says it holds a season's lifeblood, the verdant pulse of a fey prince. Tonight, that pulse may drum beneath your ribcage. He taps the cylinder. The vines flex and contort for a moment. Right. Bidding opens at 20,000. Increments of 5 only. Do I hear? So, at this point, there are massive bids going up. It quickly raises from 20, do I got 25, 25, 30, 30, 50, 50, 70,000 gold. What are you guys doing?
Definitely taking note on where this lies, considering I have no slate to make bids and I have no money to bid on it.
Okay.
They just raised the bid to 70,000.
It just got raised to 70,000 by
If
Mr.
all
Morrigan.
all in a flash before I could put in my own
You
bids.
could have put in a bid.
I
It's going
would have
very
liked to.
fast. All right, where would your bid have gone in? It started
Would've-
at 20,000, so, and then it almost immediately went to 25. So, where would your bid have gone from 25,000?
gone 35,000.
35,000? As you do this, there are a few looks at you, and somebody raises you to 40,000.
45,000.
And then Mara raises it to 50,000.
55.
At that point, Morrigan raises you to 65,000.
70,000.
And then Morrigan raises it immediately to 75,000. This is a hot item, folks. We see bids coming from all across the room. This item of untold power. Who among you dares to cultivate your own kingdom in the palm of your hand?
I would like to say inwardly, of course they didn't have to make this simple. You know, not out loud, just
Imagine you
in
said
my
it out
head.
loud. Ranzen's gonna look at Myra and see, just basically watch her. How much would she bid during this duel? Pretty much, since it's pretty much a duel for the item. And basically just watch until the moment she stops bidding, if possible. Unless she wants to bid all in.
Okay. So as the bidding goes through, you see as it's raised to 75,000 by Mr. Morrigan, there is almost a hush that follows through the room for a moment as people are just reeling from the amount of gold being thrown about here. And while not everybody bids directly in gold, many do. And as it hits 75, Morrow, his grin widens. 75 and rising. A hush, and then Mara's voice, calm but cutting, raises her board. 85. Gasps flutter like startled swallows. Braziers flare green. Before the awe can settle, paddle 13 slams upward. Mr. Morrigan leans forward, vis unctuous. 100,000. Silence, even the drips from the ceiling pause as Morrow lifts a reluctant brow. 100,000 GOLD. His gavel lingers in the air, inviting challengers. You look down at Mara and she just shakes her head in a sorrowful but just kind of upset at the loss of this item. What is everyone else doing?
That's bad. And Ranzen, like I said, I doubt it, but Ranzen has no such funds at his disposal because he's just carrying Mara's, correct? Just to confirm.
Yes. Also, did you look at your two handouts, by the way?
Yep, I did.
Okay, just making sure.
Mhm. Yep. Yep, Ranzen knows.
Anything from Jakob or Nyxi? Or are you guys still just observing?
Not really anything I can do.
I mean, you guys could break into a fight at any fucking moment. I don't know. That's why I got to keep asking. I don't know when you're going to be like, all right, go up and stab the auctioneer.
No.
I know it's kind
We're
of
just
fun.
gonna
Let's
fight
do that.
everybody in the room.
Just a bunch of level 7s, just fighting everyone.
You're all a
That's fun.
bunch of swiveling dogs.
The chamber quakes with shouted numbers as the gavel hovers. 120,000, a robed figure, an oracle of sorts. Star ink tattoos flare beneath their sleeves. 140,000 over to Mr. Morrigan once again. And then you see in this row right here, this woman in regal finery with blonde hair and pallid, pale skin raises it to 145. Mr. Morgan takes it to 150, and then it's raised to 160 again, before finally, sold to Mr. Morrigan for 170,000 gold pieces. As a claim ticket is brought over to the figure known as Mr. Morrigan.
Remind me which one is Morrigan?
He is this guy over here.
Ah.
Yeah. That name familiar?
It does ring a bells. Oh boy.
In character or out of character?
in one of your characters.
And one of our characters, yeah.
Oh. I see.
Like, I see.
A claim ticket is taken down to Morrigan as he grabs it. More items are brought up, and this item is carted back off towards the storeroom as it leaves the premises of the
Which way?
primary chamber. The same way that you escaped out of?
Oh, son of a bitch.
Back inside. You should have waited.
Yeah, so this man right here is carting the item off currently. What are we doing, guys?
I'm gonna look and see if anybody's noticing me at this point.
Everyone seems to be enraptured by the auctioning currently and by the bidding.
I think I'm gonna shift back to my guard.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a stealth check for me.
It'd be really bad.
You too.
22.
Yeah, pretty handily you're able to switch back to the guard. You start walking up that way.
Any...
Yeah,
Roll a perception check for me.
Yes.
17.
Damn it.
You don't spot it. And perception's your thing, my guy.
I know.
stealth is mine.
Makes perfect sense. Ranzen is gonna try and shift a little as they're preparing to, like, at least leave his seat.
Okay.
Close next tomorrow. But just gonna try to do it as like natural and stealthy as possible.
All right, roll a stealth check for me, Ranzen.
Yep. I can tell what's gonna happen already. Okay.
I mean, I can just...
That was pretty fucking
just-
good.
Yeah.
Can I just clock who's, like,
Yeah, you see
who all's moving?
a guard and very different armor attire from the rest of the individuals here. But they seem to be intersecting with the item that is being taken back currently.
If I, of course, hold off to let that guard pass.
Yeah. You take the item in, and it's shortly after that they return. Oh, it's you again.
The guard in a different attire strikes me as odd, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you just don't notice, like, they are
No.
guard in different attire, but you didn't notice any shifting or anything like that. They seem like they are acting as a guard and kind of patrolling that direction.
Yeah, I'll clock that.
Okay.
Not much to be done about it just yet.
Alrighty.
I'm gonna hold up the book that I actually took out earlier.
Okay.
Marquis seems to have accidentally pulled a book out from earlier. It's just has to be returned to the vault.
Alright. Be quick about it. We don't want to leave this place unattended.
I think we've got enough people in here to at least make sure there's nothing in scuffle. I'm only gonna be a few steps away after all. If something was to happen, I'll be right here.
Very well. You guys see an exchange of words that you don't hear over the sound of the room, but you see a book held up as the strangely dressed guard heads further back.
Yeah, try to follow me, motherfuckers.
Oh, that's what we're trying to do.
I mean, I'm waiting for other
Looking
people
down,
to get up and start meandering.
yeah,
One person getting up and walking off is weird.
that do be the case, and we're
There's another item
Not sure.
that is called out and bid upon, and Morrow goes, "All right, we'll pick this back up in about 10 minutes. Please, have a drink, talk, meander." As people begin kind of shifting around, Mara turns from her chair and kind of... She is much shorter than you. She is about 5'5". She kind of motions you to lean down towards her.
okay. We'll do so.
We need that item, Ranzen. You know what you must do.
I do indeed, and it shall be done.
She kind of nods before walking forward. Eleanor, it is so good to see you again. At this point, you do see people just kind of start moving and talking to one another.
Ranzen is gonna go like around here-ish for now. Just meandering, just casually, just looking around because he is an outsider, so he'll definitely be looked upon with a bit more suspicion. So he is basically, what he's gonna try and do is, as a person walks by him, he's gonna try to get a bit more closer. If that makes sense. To use like other people to block his path. Jeez.
Fair enough. And there is just movement around in general.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I will. When I get the opportunity to, I will get up, sort of skirt the crowd a bit. Try and walk past, see what Morrigan is doing.
Morrigan is
Sort of-
currently kicked back, talking to another figure sitting at his table. He has a glass of thick red liquid and is smiling and laughing, and you see the 2 tickets on the table in front of him. And then getting closer, you stop in your tracks. You haven't been noticed yet, but roll a history check for me.
Ooh, 8.
8. Okay. You see a man, mid-30s, early to mid-30s, half his face burned and scarred, a aether-engineered prosthetic arm and leg. And there's a brief moment as you move past that you catch the glint of his eyes. Very similar to your eyes. As you see Ezekiel, your older brother that you long thought dead, sitting here, who has not seemed to notice you yet. Heavily scarred, burned, and torn asunder. Brandishing an emblem around his neck of the late Iron Brand.
Jacob will retain composure in his face, save for his eyes widening in surprise, rage, disbelief. Hard to say.
Yeah. As you move through, if you're trying to be stealthy, then go ahead and roll a stealth check.
Yeah, I'm not trying to, hide from everyone. Just sort
You're
of
just trying to fit in.
just walk around. Yep.
Okay. So moving through, is your guys' goals to just eventually
Okay.
get to the storeroom?
That is
Pretty
the
much.
goal. While I am
That is the goal.
walking past Ezekiel, is there This can't be. Is there anything more I can discern about him? Is this an illusion? Is this
Roll
what
a
is this?
perception or roll an insight check.
24.
Looking at him, it is no mere illusion. This man fully resembles your brother, however heavily scarred and burned and broken, you assume by whatever tragedy befell your family. You thought him dead, and he looks very near that, but somehow is sitting here talking with the other figure at his table, uncaring to his surroundings, unaware of your gaze upon him. But there is a glint in his eye of something not of this world.
Out of character, calling it now. Frickin' Magnus.
Always play Magnus.
Yeah, I will continue on.
Okay.
Oh, the storeroom is guarded actively.
Yes, it is.
And it's just the storeroom that way?
Yes, it is just the storeroom that way.
Indeed. Is this auction chamber the only actionable space, I guess? Only place we're allowed in?
So there's the entrance that you came into the south. There is another exit to the east that is also guarded. But this is the only area that you've been given free reign to roam.
All right.
I'm gonna hide the Heart of Thorns in my cloak.
Well, I'll just watch, wait, observe, and try and cook up some sort of plan.
Okay. So we will jump to the storeroom. Where we find a single figure. Nyxi, as you
It's
enter the
me.
storeroom, what are you doing? Are you putting the book back like you said you were going to?
No, definitely not.
What a big liar.
Yeah, well, I'm a thief. It's what I do. I'm going to get the Heart of Thorns and hide it underneath my cloak.
Okay. You see in the center of the room, the magical circle. In the very center of it, there is now the glass encased dais that was presented at the stage, with the Heart of Thorns slightly hovering within it.
No, this is for sure a trap. Well, I'm gonna at least walk up and check out the circle. Is
Okay.
the circle itself trapped?
You've walked across the circle multiple times earlier when you were
Okay.
looking around.
So I'm gonna get up closer to the dais and check out the actual piece itself.
Okay. Go ahead and roll an investigation check for me.
Not my strong suit. Oh, I rolled a nat 20.
Okay. Upon further inspection, looking over, this is a magically enchanted housing unit that is meant to, one, keep thieves out, but also keep the artifact, whatever it is, its power from affecting the exterior area and individuals. It is most definitely trapped. You see arcane runic engravings across most of the copper surface on this dais, and the glass itself is more of a magic barrier than it is actually physical glass. A strange aether technology that you have not seen in the Fae before.
Well, this is not good. I'm gonna go. Hmm. I'm gonna go back to the door and crack it open and not really holler, but like get the guard's attention, like, hey, and like kind of, snap to like to where he would turn around to look at me.
Okay, he does so.
I'm gonna wave him over.
Roll a persuasion check.
I mean,
You're asking him to leave his
Alright.
post.
Yeah, but 22.
All right.
Not 22.
He comes over. What can I do? Like, what are you doing?
We've got to let them know immediately. The Moonlight Courtier is gone.
Wait, what?
The cage is right there, and it's empty. You were standing guard.
Oh, fuck, that's no good.
Yeah, no, it's not. I mean, it's obviously not in the room still. We'd see it.
All right. I'll get right on it.
Do we even know what that beast is capable of?
No, I don't know what the fuck a
Are the
Moonlight
people
Courtier
here
even
in-
is.
Are the people here even in fucking danger? Do we need to get them evacuated until we find it?
Well, I can tell you one thing right now. We're not going to cause a giant ruckus and have everyone stomping and slamming all over each other in the fear that some unknown
of
fey creature
course
might be
not.
killing everybody.
Well, of course not, but I don't want to die either.
Well, we should leave the storeroom, lock the door, then we can go talk to the guard captain and we can get this all figured out.
All right. Quick, go get the guard captain. I will step out, lock the door. The quicker we let them know what's going on, the faster we can get this done.
Right, let's go.
So I'm gonna let him run off to the guard captain, and I'm gonna, stay behind to lock the door.
Okay.
And I assume we see some of this, right?
Yeah, you guys see the guard leave his post for a moment before quickly coming up, and as he's almost at a sprint before he gets to right about here, and then he very poorly tries to nonchalantly walk this way. And he whispers in this figure's ear before this figure has a moment of immense worry in his eyes before he starts approaching Morrow and whispers something to Morrow.
Are most people looking like at the stage at this point? I mean,
most people are watching this man
kind
who
of
is,
clock this.
Yeah, pretty much everyone in the room clocks this.
Yeah, I would definitely like to. I think I could cunning action at this point. I can hide, right?
Yeah, you can hide.
Yeah, I'm gonna bonus cunning action and hide.
Right.
So I do have a
I'm-
question
Yeah.
concerning my character's ability. When it comes to the Step of the Veil, how quiet is it?
Let's see.
Yeah. As a bonus action, you can teleport 30 feet to an can't speak. Unoccupied space you can see. You can use this ability a number of times, equal to your proficiency bonus, triggering expended uses when you finish a short or long rest.
Yeah. I would say. Here's the thing.
Mm-hmm. No. Yeah, sure.
When I was making the race,
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking a bunch of night crawlers.
Ooh. So it goes
Which-
like poof.
In the comic books,
Yeah, they go
there's a
poof.
distinct onomatopoeia when he bamfs, because it
Got
says
it.
in big juicy letters "bamf" every
Yeah.
time he bamfs.
Bam, bam, bam. Right.
I would say it is not immensely quiet. I would say it's not like super loud either, but it is noticeable. Like there is almost like a sulfur smell and a plume of blackish soot that is left behind.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to know what options I have here.
Mm-hmm.
And can we like get and when it comes to my shadow, quote unquote, clone,
Mm-hmm.
would it like is there like a specific because I didn't read anything about concerning like specific noise or how loud it would be.
There's not a noise when
Oh.
you clone yourself.
Okay, thank you. That's all I need to know.
Jacob, are you doing anything? As you see this guard
I'm-
very poorly try to nonchalantly walk up and inform the leaders of this event of something.
I'm looking out and around. If anyone's gonna make a move, now's the time.
Yep.
And considering I don't have much of a plan on
Just
moves
the
to
plan.
make on my own, I'm looking for any opportunity I can get.
Okay.
I'm just looking for anyone acting shifty, looking like they might make a break for something.
You guys do see one figure kind of in I would almost say like the epitome of like survivalist adventurer's garb. And he is slowly starting to make his way towards this area over here.
All right, I'm just gonna casually, follow behind.
Just sort of
Yeah, just we belong here. Nothing to see.
clock that, follow him.
Yep, we're just casually following this person. We know him from since birth. Yeah. We're just casually.
If I could have everyone's attention, please, up here. It's a good friend, Morris Morrow. It seems that we have a tiny little hiccup in the event tonight. So, if everyone could just, keep calm, nothing deadly or disastrous. We might have just misplaced one of our items up for bid. So, sit tight. We will get back to you. Definitely not a deathly situation in the least. At this point, this man...
Insight check.
Go ahead and roll an insight check.
I
Where's insight?
Good
it's
question. Where is
24.
it?
24. There is definitely something deadly and disastrous on the loose.
Well, that's fantastic.
yeah. I'm gonna shape change.
Okay.
Back to Nyxi.
Got it. There is a hush that falls over the crowd before there is a lot of conversation going around. Morrigan just kind of laughs and kicks his feet up. Go ahead.
Ranzen's gonna try and follow this individual as best as
All right,
possible.
if you're
as
trying to
like
do
he
it stealthily,
belongs.
just roll a stealth check for
Yep.
me.
Sure thing. I don't know. My heavy armor is gonna kill me. I swear.
And then everybody's gonna hate me.
There we go.
All right.
I'm following this guy too.
All right, roll a stealth check for me.
If he rolls badly, we don't know him.
Fuck.
11.
Yep, we don't know him. We don't know him.
I mean,
You
I wasn't
catch-
like following as if I know.
them. Right. With an 11, with the current situation, you only garner a few glances. One of which is from Morrigan, who kind of winks at you as your eyes cross his.
What did he
And-
mean by this?
The other is where is oh, yeah, here he is. Draven Kael'thas kind of starts moving towards you as he sees this happen, but stops at the boundary of the carpet, just with his ever present grin. What are you doing?
Well, first things first, I'm gonna read more into that wink.
Okay. Roll an insight check. 25.
He thinks you're hot.
Looking deep into the soul of Morrigan, you don't garner anything.
God damn.
Sorry, he rolled a
very
32 on his deception.
God motherfucking damn. Right, I will sort of how do I describe what I am doing?
Very carefully.
I will put a concerned look the way of, oh my god, I can't remember his name. The auctioneer who just addressed us, telling us to stay put and keep calm.
Okay.
And just sort of make a bit of a show on looking around the crowd. Do you know? I'll begin to approach Morrigan, actually. Slowly.
Okay. As you approach him, he kind of smiles widely, seemingly without a care in the world.
Such professionalism on display. Losing an item up for auction. And one, I'll sort of look around, lean in, take my voice down a little bit. One we apparently should be panicked about. Surely you saw through that veneer of confidence as well as I.
I assure you, darling, I have nothing to worry about. Whatever creature may be on the loose holds no sway over my life or death.
Perhaps the same cannot be said of a poor cripple like myself.
Roll a deception check.
Good luck.
Fuck.
Morrigan's insight is not his highest. That's a 28.
Oh, damn.
Not his highest.
Right, a cripple such as yourself. Well, Why don't you go back and do what you must? But remember, I'm always watching. What was your name again?
Jakob. The Siren.
Truly a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Jakob.
As it is yours. As is mine. Morrigan, was it?
Yes, Morrigan. That is the name I've come to covet for myself. Though, a Lascarian as I live and breathe. 'Twas not long ago that I met another bearing the name of Lascarian. Though given your reticence to raise your voice, I assume you may not want to be associated with him.
Truly. And who is this other Lascarian you speak of?
His eyes kind of motion to the table next to him. I saw you eyeing him as much as I have been eyeing you, sweet, sweet little Jakob.
I mean,
He
probably just
stands
figured,
and
shit,
comes
good person.
towards you.
That man is not my brother. He cannot be.
Well, as much your brother as any creature of his sort could be. 'Tis his body, his mind. But I tend not to judge too harshly on those who have tied their lives to something outside of the Night Mother's threads. His hand
Narrow my
begins
eyes.
his hand begins raising
Plainly.
towards your face.
I ask you, please do not touch my face. As I'll sort of lean away from it.
You see these not dainty, but like well taken care of, soft, long fingers with these extended, sharpened, almost talon-like nails. Oh, I love the ones who play hard to get, Jakob.
What does he mean by that? Can I discern anything?
Yeah, roll an insight check for me.
That's a... hold on. That was a 3 on the die. Whenever you make a wisdom check to determine whether a creature is lying, treat a roll of 7 or lower on the d20 as an 8. So that would be a 17, actually.
17. Okay. You are able to peering over this man and trying to pierce whatever veil he has put up between you. He has some sort of interest in you. Obviously wants to get closer to you. But has not betrayed any semblance to the individuals around him that you are up to anything. But his eyes have not left yours from when you started talking to him to this moment. And only a couple of blinks have stopped his gaze since you started talking. So, little Jakob, who is it that sent you here? What items do you wish to procure? Maybe I could be of aid to you. Besides, favors are always better when they're being paid back, don't you think?
Perhaps. I am here on behalf of myself and my family. My estate, rather. I, as with everyone else here, it seems, am enamored with the Heart of Thorns. Although, perhaps I indeed am speaking to the one who holds rights to it this day.
Well, I did manage to win that one, didn't I? It seemed that so many were
You did.
fervently going after it. But what is your interest in it?
Idle curiosity,
What are your surface
Interest in-
thoughts at the moment?
speculating. Oh no. Oh. Shoot. Dang
Just
it,
the
if I were
stuff,
higher level.
just the stuff on the surface.
What is this guy playing at? What does he want? Why so interested in me, of all people?
Good question. That's just what's running through the surface of your mind right now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That and... Well... Would still trying to clock the survivalist-looking guy who just sort of waltzed towards the storeroom.
Sure.
Would that be surface thoughts?
Sure. You see his gaze falter from yours just enough to look down the hallway. I need you to make a wisdom saving throw, Jacob.
Oof. Snitch.
Ooh.
Okay.
Well, shit. Looks like this guy's gonna have to fucking die.
Okay. You become keenly aware that something is probing in your mind. Before Morrigan leans in close to you. Don't worry, young Jacob. I won't tell. You just tell
Insight
your
check.
little... Alright, go ahead and roll an insight check. 19. Seems to be being honest. Just when you get back, you tell your little queen that I need to meet with the one they call Ace. But for now, and
I'm
his face turns towards you, now less than an inch away, as there's a slight lick of his lips. Your secret's safe with me for the moment, Jacob. But this is a big favor. Perhaps we can talk after this. I have a chamber in a rather nice inn in Hightown that you could come stop by. We could spend a night getting to know each other better.
First off, I will say, I'm sure I have no idea what you mean, as I sort of give him an intense gaze, trying to communicate non-verbally, you better keep your word. And
You
I would
hear in
also like
your-
to insight check this guy to see if he's like actually hitting on me. Like what?
Yeah, roll an insight check. You also hear in your mind, believe me. You can trust me.
In a kiss.
My kiss.
You can trust me to the ends of the earth, Jacob. My goals far out exceed anything you might be up to. Yeah, this guy's hitting on you. He has a keen interest in you. And has taken a liking to you at this point in time. Just remember, Jacob, if you're taking my heart, I expect you to repay the favor. Otherwise, I might not be so forgiving, and I would hate to destroy something as precious as you.
I assure you there will be no need for that.
Right, well, then, be on your way, boy. They'll be watching.
Indeed.
Roll a perception check for me. 18. Okay, thank you.
18.
So, what are you doing now?
Oh no.
As this
if he's still got
conversation was
detect thoughts
happening,
up,
he
he
does.
gets
It lasts for a minute.
well, shit.
You hear like a brief. This is going to be so fun, Jacob. As this man continues down the hall, as this conversation goes on, and doesn't seem to clock you, Nyxi.
Can we take like 2 minutes?
Yeah, let's take a quick break right here. We will come back and we'll say 5 minutes. And we're back. So, as Morrigan invaded your mind, asked some questions, asked some repayment of favors, we'll jump over to the hallway where the man is approaching the door and has not clocked Nyxi. What are you doing, Nyxi?
I think I'm gonna wait just a second to see if he goes inside.
Okay. Did you lock the door?
I didn't. No, I actually left the door slightly ajar because I had other plans.
Okay.
But I was not planning for him to be a part of them.
All right. You see him approach the door and kind of peek over the side of it before he pulls out this crossbow-like mechanism. It looks like a vial has been attached to the back of it, and it somehow is feeding whatever's in the vial to the projectile mounted on the crossbow before pushing the door open a little bit more and getting ready to slink inside. At this point, the conversation with Morrigan would be finishing up. And what are you guys doing?
At this point, Ranzen is still close by, like right around here, but he is trying to do his best to be as, still as possible to let the other person work.
Okay.
Just, let him do the job, the heavy lifting.
Go ahead and both Ranzen and Nyxi roll perception check. Neither of you see each other. Both enraptured by this man.
That's good.
Don't see. Ranzen's in the middle of the fucking hallway.
But you're still looking at this man, so you haven't. He has very silent footsteps. He rolled a 25 on stealth. He is the quietest man in this fucking room. It does take you guys a minute as he slinks in, and your vision can now move about without being hyper focused on him. You guys do start to identify each other, as you're not really hiding behind anything, and your gaze is now not focused on that single point.
Yeah, I'm paying Ranzen pretty much no mind. I'm following this guy inside.
Got it.
And I'll just do the same thing. Ranzen is just gonna step inside.
All right. And Jacob? You see now 3 figures going through the door into the storeroom.
Clock that. Look at Morrigan. Look at the other guy who saw me.
He's kind of standing
he's still
there.
watching?
Yeah, he's just watching you.
He's just watching me talk to Morrigan this entire time.
Yep.
What's his deal?
Well, his name is Draven Kalthus. You know that he is the warden. He is the slum warden of Reaper's Port. He is basically the pirate lord Orlon Veskar's right-hand man. He's probably here in place. And I just sent you a closer-up photo of him so you can understand what is staring at you.
Ah. Right. Uh-huh.
Run along now, Jacob, before you get in any more trouble than you already are.
Yeah, I'll... Nothing I can do. Back to the crowd.
Oh, he's, like, gesturing towards the vault room when he says this.
Oh. I see... You just told me his name.
Morrigan.
Not Morrigan. The
Draven Kael'thas?
Draven. Draven's still looking at me, right?
Yes, he is.
Can I glean anything as to why?
Roll an insight check.
What he's looking for in me? 28.
I can tell you what he's looking for.
At this point, he seems less interested in you and more interested in Morrigan.
I see. I'll sort of meander off in the direction of the vault.
As you do, you see Draven start to approach Morrigan. Okay. As you all, one by one, disappear into the storeroom.
As we all follow Nathan Drake.
I will pull you guys over here. You see this figure who is now approaching this pedestal right here and eyeing over it before shaking his head and heading this direction. What are you guys doing? As one by one you all begin to filter into this chamber.
Well, I'm definitely switching places with Mr. Ranzen because I would have slipped to the hinge side of the door.
At this point, everyone sees everyone else, right?
Yes,
or at least
except for this guy who is paying no mind to any of you. You don't know if he's clocked your positioning or if he just doesn't care or what. But he is now tinkering with the pedestal that he is at.
Does Ranzen want to Ranzen when he looks at the guy? Does he get like a hint that this Nathan Drake fellow knows what he's doing?
Yeah, this seems very much a skilled trade kind of thing, as he is mixing different vials together as well as sketching out some arcane runes in the stone, like in the bits of dust on the stone.
Mm-hmm.
He is currently working to disarm some sort of arcane mechanism, it seems.
Okay, then
Can
Ranzen's just go ahead
I
and do it.
give a side-eye puzzled look to Ranzen?
Yeah.
And Ranzen just gives him like a shrug back, saying like, if he wants to do the hard work, go ahead.
And he's messing with the pedestal with the heart?
No. The pedestal
No.
with the heart is central right now.
Ah, right.
He seemed to survey one of the other pedestals, figure that that's not the one that he wanted, and then moved on to a different pedestal and is now trying to concoct some sort of ritual.
Can I see anything about the item he is looking to steal here?
You'd have to get closer. It looks like a book of sorts, but from this vantage point, you can't see any like major detail about the book.
I'll give another look to Ranzen, sort of tilt my head in the direction of this guy.
Have you
Cock my
guys shut the
eyebrow.
door behind you?
After Jacob came in, I'd have been kind of pulling the door shut.
Okay, so the door is now shut behind you guys. 4 thieves, all locked in a storeroom.
We're in big trouble if the guards find us here.
Do you say that
Um,
out loud?
Correct them.
I will, seeing this gaggle of literally what the fuck are we doing? Each and every one of us in this room.
Yep.
And as soon as I detect that the door behind us has been closed, yeah, I'm saying that out loud.
The man who's doing the ritual turns. Oh, fucking God. How many people did they send after this thing?
1, 2,
Not that
3.
thing.
Being glib with intentions, are we? Can I get a better look at what this guy is looking to steal?
Yeah, as you move closer and closer, it is some sort of tome that has been bound by buckle and lock and chain. Like, this is a heavily locked up tome. And you imagine with it being bound in a magical circle, it probably has some sort of arcane capability.
I do hope you know what you are doing.
Ugh.
Do I recognize this tome from the brochure?
You do. This is a tome called the Tome of Nazarun. It is supposedly the cursed tome of a long-dead necromancer from the Age of Ruin. Also, side note, also one of the items locked up in the vault at the Oven Keep.
Well, that's great. What's Wolfram doing?
Yeah. Wolfram's fucking dead. And
Oh,
has
his
been
spirits.
for 20 years.
Well, his spirit should have been guarding that for dear life, but apparently not. He left the
This
job.
this was one of the items I was missing when you guys went down there with Lucian. Along with Morrigan's
See,
heart. And a couple other
Even
items.
worse.
Well, if you're not after this book, then I don't give a fuck why you're here. So just leave me to my peace. I'll get my quarry, and we'll all go our separate ways.
I beg to differ.
What are you going to do?
What am
Well,
I going to
You
do?
might be after your quarries. However, I need this horse, and it seems like you know what you're doing.
Now, hold on. That heart is a very highly sought-after artifact.
Indeed it is.
These are all highly sought after artifacts, dipshit.
Oh, he has a
And
cracked
yet-
tongue as well.
The heart stands head and shoulders above the rest. I can tell that the other two in this room also are wanting the heart, right?
It's
Can I?
seeming so.
Can I?
Also,
Yeah.
roll a history check for me with advantage, please, Mr. Jacob, given your connection with Harlequin Brotherhood. History.
It's a 10.
10. There's something familiar about this man. Swear you've seen, like, picture of him or something come across throughout the work you've done with the Harlequin Brotherhood, but you can't quite place it.
It's not fucking Lucian, is it?
It is not Lucian.
Say, you Seem familiar. Do I know you from somewhere?
If we knew each other, this would be going a lot more smoothly, friend.
Mm-hmm. Well, I suppose there is no better time for introductions than in the middle of a heavily guarded vault.
Yes, well, I'm trying to
I don't
perform
think
a
we have
very
time for
heated ritual.
introductions.
All right, well, you all get to know each other.
Oh, it's you I'm interested, my friend.
That's quite forward.
You, who knows so much about this place, you can disable these defenses. Wonderful work, by the way. Keep at it.
I'm so confused by what's going on right now.
It's basically saying do the work, and we're just gonna watch.
Right. Now I think maybe if you all are so dependent on my ability to, release the hold on whatever these artifacts are without killing us all, maybe I should be getting some sort of thanks in return of a monetary status.
Is it not thanks enough that we do not turn right around and get the guards in on this place?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure
I'm
the
just a
guards would be happy
concerned-
to see you all in here as well.
I was just a concerned
At that
patron
point,
who saw something strange.
I'm gonna kinda flash my hand over my face real quick and take on the look of the guard.
Don't think that they would look twice at me at this point.
Oh my god, that looked like it fucking hurt.
You get used to it after the first couple times.
God, I still wouldn't want to do it.
The question stays the same. Can you free it or not?
Probably. It's not an easy thing to do. This is a ritual circle I've seen before, meant to hold these objects specifically, so it's gonna be tough. It doesn't help that I have 3 people looking over my shoulders that I don't even fucking know. This wasn't part of the job. I was told
And yet you
get in.
deny introductions.
Introduce yourself,
Please,
friend.
there is time
Name.
enough to be cordial.
What is your name?
Call me Jacob.
Call
I'm a
you
private
Jacob.
collector.
Roll a deception check.
That's my name.
You're not a private collector.
Oh, that's okay.
15. And he has... Bump, bada bump. Come on. There he is. Oh, bonus to it. Right, Jacob, nice to meet you. And the other 2, perhaps, might give me their names in solidarity.
What about yours? I'll give mine after yours.
Right.
That's
The
solidarity.
name- Fair enough. The name's Viktor. I'm a private contractor.
Insight check.
Yeah, roll an insight check.
Does that
Wait a
name
second.
bring anything up?
Yeah, you recognize the name matching the images you've seen of the man before. A man named Viktor Braun.
Ooh.
He seems to be telling the truth. Look, I'm just trying to get some stuff back that was stolen from a late friend of mine. Alright? Just trying to rebuild what his and his people lost.
Victor.
I'm gonna shift
Very
back.
well. Pleasure's mine. As you were.
Alright, so
You care
shift
about
back.
my name just as much as I care of yours. I'll let you work.
This seems hardly fair. We've all given our names and now you're gonna shroud yourself in secrecy, friend.
I came for
run.
one thing and one thing only, and if I have to take it by other means, I shall.
Fine, whatever. And as
I
he
see
says
it,
this,
Victor.
there is a flash of light in the small ritual circle he was forming, and a bit of an explosion, and then smoke that takes over your vision for a moment. Before this man Victor is behind you all, holding a book that was on the pedestal. Right. Well, it seems that you're all after that thing in the middle, but I have no interest in that. So, can I help you, friend?
Oop. Well, friend, if you could just do us a little solid, just take care of the one in the middle, if you please. And for your information, my
Now-
name is Ranzen.
Hold just a moment.
Mm.
We can't split this heart in three, now can we?
It seems like an issue for you all to figure out, not me.
And if we start fighting right now, we're probably going to get some guards in before it's too late. So let's at least get this part open, and then we can discuss this further afterwards.
The magic circle is deactivated. There is a matter of the traps on the actual pedestal.
So that's what he's talking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd like to start looking at the traps themselves now that the magic is gone.
Yeah, roll a investigation check. 17. There is
17?
a pressure sensitive trap on the dais in question. The heart is no longer surrounded by magical barrier, but it is resting now on a pressurized plate on the top. It seems to be the last line of defense at this moment. Look, everyone.
I'm pretty familiar. Go ahead.
Feel like I've done my part. I disabled the magical trap, as I am wont to do, and I feel as though I've fulfilled my service to society. The society of us four in here, because I really want nothing to do with you all. I want to get back home with this book in tow, so if that's the end of this, I would like to be on my way.
You take care not to be spotted on your way out.
Oh,
I
believe me.
us three may be busy in here for
I
a
will-
while longer.
Do my best to make a quiet exit.
Or exit going boom.
But here, as a parting gift, have this. He hands you, Ranzen, a vial of swirling liquid.
Okay. Does this look familiar?
It does not. And as he walks away, he says, "Be careful with that. I wouldn't shake it up too much." As he disappears behind the door.
And Ranzen immediately stops shaking it.
Unless anybody is stopping him.
We have other matters
No.
to tend to.
I'll
Okay. Oh,
I will position myself. If Ranzen is backing off, I will right quick, quietly, so only me and him can hear. Viktor Braun.
That's my name. Don't wear it out.
Here on behalf of an old friend.
Yes, are we just recounting things I've said in the last 2 minutes?
Very well. You're the Jack of Hearts, my regards. And I'll turn back to the rest of these folks.
I am adamantly confused.
Run along now.
All right, as Viktor Braun makes his daring escape. What are you doing, Nyxi? Was your sleight of hand to remove the heart from the dais?
I was gonna pull some Indiana Jones style, you know. Ball bearings in a pouch swap.
It's
okay.
gonna be Indiana Jones, but the wrong Indiana Jones.
Cool.
As
with
this
us-
is happening, turn back.
Oh, I was doing it while you were talking.
Oh,
Like, it would be
Well-
already happened technically at this point.
yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
you turn around,
But as
and there is now a sack of ball bearings where the heart once was. And you were saying?
I will. Now let's all not do anything rash here. These dices are still trapped.
There is a heavy rumbling in the room around you.
Well, I'm sprinting the fuck out of this room.
Yeah.
Yep. And Ranzen close behind, because he is not going to be stay here. Not with this rumbling. Nope.
Damn it
Uh,
all.
As I'm going, I'm definitely shifting in the guard and hiding the Heart of Thorns in my cloak.
Will be. Fuck. Well, I will be chasing after, and as I do, I will be using my. Hold on, how long does this take? I'm assuming it's just an action to do so. I will be disguising myself using my mask as a guard and chasing after these two ruffians.
All right.
Oh, I'm,
Yeah.
I
Ranzen's
am
going to try
inst-
to use
as
his
soon
50.
as I cusp the door, I'm instantly yelling that we have intruders in the vault.
Great.
Well, still, Ranzen is going to continue following Nyxi with his 50 speed, trying to at least catch up with her. With him or her.
Okay.
And just.
So,
Yep.
I'm just
Nothing else I can
trying.
fucking do.
I'm just trying to not look out of place.
Oh no, we're out of place already. We're running.
Well, I look like a guard. I saw their outfits.
yeah. Oh, damn.
This went
you
out
had-
real quick.
I mean, that one roll pretty much defined this entire ending.
Yeah, and I've been rolling pretty good this whole time. At least decent. Way better than a 6.
Oh.
Now Vecna's like, well, fuck, now I gotta rewrite the ending.
Quickly changing things. This is great. I fully expected this to happen.
Like I said,
You should have expected the
should
worst.
have, yeah. I mean, look how badly we went the last campaign. Like, us rolling horrible is something that's just consistent. It never changes.
Well, I figured there would be like a disarm the trap kind of thing.
No, I failed at that.
In fairness, an attempt was made.
Should have let Viktor do it.
Victor didn't want to be here any longer than he had to.
We could probably persuade him.
Okay. So, as Nyxi... Oh, man. As Nyxi slips the heart into her cloak, leaving the ball bearings behind to mimic the weight, for a breath it seemed to work. Everything seemed smooth sailing. You thought you got away with it. You thought everything was gonna be in and out, easy peasy.
Oh, no.
No need to worry. That all is not true at this point.
You said the room started to shake.
Right. So, going into this escape now,
Quote unquote.
quote unquote. How do I make this sound anything like what it should? I should have expected tomfoolery.
Yeah, probably.
I mean,
with the Heart of
after the
Thorns-
last campaign,
With the Heart of Thorns now in your possession, you all begin to race through. Some of you screaming that there are intruders.
I would like to yell back in response, pointing at this, the shape changer. This one's a shape changer. Don't trust them. They have the heart.
and Raz is just like in between them, just running.
People are looking at you confused as you're running. The whole cave structure is shaking. Some chunks of roof are falling. Individuals in the main hall are dodging and dipping to the side. And as you see this, you crest the exterior. Let's switch over to just for a moment. You see Draven, Kael'thas, and Morrigan, who clock you but don't seem to make a move. At least for the moment. I wish things would not disappear on me, but that's fine. Fuck it. Alright. Guards are rushing. You guys are running. This is now a skill challenge. What skill are each of you using? We'll start with Nyxi, because she is in the lead. Nyxi, what are you doing to further your advancement to the exterior of this auction hall?
Oh, I mean, I'm definitely dead sprint using all of my athletic ability. Like, I have trained for this.
Okay, so go ahead and roll me an athletics check.
24.
Shit.
I have the belt of giant strength, and I have expertise in athletics.
I did not know that you were actually taking the belt of giant strength, but that's cool. All right, that is one success. As you move through, darting past guards and patrons, two of you look like guards for the most part.
And then there's Ranzen.
Moving on to Ranzen. Ranzen, what are you doing?
Apart from what Ranzen's going to be doing is he's going to try the most straightforward path. So what he's going to try and do is, even if there are any objects in between him or not, he's just going to like jump vault over them to try and not lose ground on Nyxi.
Okay. What skill are you using for that?
Acrobatics.
All right, go ahead and roll acrobatics.
Oof.
A 10. As you move through, you go to do an acrobatic leap over some of the furniture. Immediately catch your foot and stumble and hit the ground next to Mara. And she looks down at you.
Hi, Mara.
And she goes,
Okay.
Ranzen, what is going on? Do you have the heart?
Working on that.
Do we need to leave?
We do. As he's
Right.
trying to like distract Mara.
She starts running as well. Moving on to Jacob. What are you doing?
Shit. This is the exact scenario I try to avoid.
Yep.
I'm just going to be pointing at Nyxi and just saying, "Someone stop her! They have the heart!"
I totally
Immediately,
wanted
the
to.
guards
Cool.
turn and start to clock the guard that you're saying is Nyxi. Can you go ahead and roll a deception or persuasion check for me?
Deception, please. Dirty 20.
Okay. All right. So, Nyxi, clutching the relic in your cloak, you all begin running, clearing through the auction hall, barreling through confused onlookers and staff, weaving through smoke and falling rubble as cracks crawl through the ceiling and stones begin to rain down. There's a bit of a hiccup as Ranzen trips, but you manage to get a hold of Mara, and you guys are now running. Moving through the exit corridor, a spiral staircase has broken apart mid-rotation. Segments of the stone steps slide up and down with mechanical rhythm, rising and falling unpredictably like jagged clockwork teeth. Below, a 50-foot drop into a waterlogged sump. So, what are you guys doing to get across this broken set of stairs? We'll start with
I mean,
Nyxi.
since Ranzen did acrobatics, am I still allowed to do acrobatics?
Yeah, you guys got through the last skill check, so there's this is
Okay.
stage 2, then there's stage 3 and stage 4 and stage 5. So
Okay, yeah. No, I'm definitely like, so it's broken stairs, or is there like gaps and shit?
there is like missing segments of these stone mechanical stairs.
Oh, well, I'm definitely like hitting the high points to be able to make it over the missing section. So if that means like I gotta get up on the railing to hit down to the next set and like kind of make my way around. So I will be utilizing acrobatics.
Okay. So go ahead and roll me an acrobatics check. 27.
27.
Nyxi leaps ahead, bounding from one unstable step to another, barely catching your footing on a couple of the spinning discs before managing to continue up unimpeded. Let's do Ranzen. You have Mara
Okay.
with you now, who is like
Oh, that's
holding
great.
onto your arm, trying to follow
No.
behind you.
Horrible. Ranzen is going to try and spot the closest edges that would be possible for him to leap across. Trying to basically determine, ones that won't cause a lot of strain on Mara, if that makes sense, or see if
Okay.
there's any like passages there.
All right, go ahead and roll insight or perception or investigation for me.
Okay.
The DC raises at each of these stages, by the way.
Okay, I guess Ranzen's slowing everyone down. That's great.
Right. Yeah.
Just yourself.
Ranzen, as you grab Mara, you go to take a few longer leaps, trying to make sure that you can get her across first, and it takes a minute, and there's a moment where you start falling back with Mara in your arms. Can you roll a dexterity saving throw for me, please?
That's great. Let's see when the natural one's gonna happen. Let's see.
Now.
Yeah, now. Okay.
14.
I mean, could be worse.
You barely be able to catch yourself with Mara's help as she's grasping onto part of the rigid wall and pull yourself up, barely making it up. Jumping over to Jacob, what are you doing?
Well, shit.
There are guards closing in behind you all.
I just am going to point at Nyxi again. No. How's that gonna help? The skill challenge is for getting across this gap, right?
Yep.
Can I quick laser fast analyze what I have to be able to get me across?
Yeah. Roll investigation or insight. Okay. Barely clearing this. Analyzing very quickly, looking at the shifting steps, you manage to shove your cane, the cane tip, into the mechanisms just long enough to stop the stairs from shifting uncontrollably, and manage to almost launch yourself from one set stairs to the other before making it above as the stairs start to fall apart and bury themselves in stone beneath you. As you all come up into the next stage, the Hall of Reflections, you guys pass through briefly on your way in. You burst into a wide corridor lined with mirrored walls. You see half-masked mages stepping from alcoves like wraiths, silent, each wielding crescent-bladed daggers. Their masks shimmer with this almost illusion-like form over the top of them. Moonlight filters in through narrow slats, and there are alarm horns echoing in layered intervals. What are you guys doing as you move through this hall of mirrors to get through without these mages getting any hits on you?
Oh, the Hall of Mirrors? Is there
Hall
like
of
anything
Mirrors.
to duck, dip, dodge, dip, and dive? Like in between, through, anything like that?
Yeah, so it's almost like an art room floor where there's structured mirror-like art in the center of the hall chamber, and then the walls are lined with mirrors with etchings and designs on them, and then above them in these alcoves are these mages who are getting ready to start throwing spells and daggers. You see two guys with the dreaded crossbows that all of your characters in every game fear for some reason.
Our fault. We're traumatized.
I would definitely be trying to like cunning action hide between things and dip through there without, like, pretty much as soon as I press the door, I'd be trying to get out of sight, out of path kind of thing.
Okay, so go ahead and roll a stealth check for me.
25.
25. Nyxi, as you move through, you slide between two of the mirrors as these mages start to shoot down towards you. But as you do, your visage disappears in the reflections. and the spells slam into the mirrors and almost are reflected off, slamming into the exterior walls, managing to dip, dart, and dive your way through without incurring any damage. Ranzen, what are you doing?
Ranzen is going to use his clone in order to both distract the guards, in order for them to attack the clone, not him, as he runs. Basically using it as a shield.
Roll a deception check for me, Ranzen.
Yay, and I suck at this shit.
12.
Barely.
All right. Running through with Mara, kind of tucked closely in your chest, you run towards one of the mirrors, breaking through it. And as you do, simultaneously, your clone darts out to the side, and it's almost like a mirrored, confusing, mesmerizing instance where you shatter into a mirror, there's glass flying everywhere, and all of a sudden there's two of you. And mages are trying to target the one that is running and trying to garner their attention as you rush through, pulling Mara along. You're up, Jacob. You gotta get a 12 or higher for this stage.
Well, I am not a thief trying to steal this heart in this moment. I am a guard in pursuit.
Okay.
And I'm running along like one.
Roll persuasion or performance.
Oh god. Not deception.
Deception was just used.
Oh, was it?
Yep.
Fuck.
Yep.
Oh.
You have a different thing you want to
missed
do?
that. Huh.
So far, stealth and deception have been used.
I want to make note while I'm running along. See, because there's a lot of people running at this point, right?
In this hall specifically, you see a few guards who have managed to climb their way up through the staircase behind you, but there are eight mages on either side of this hall in raised alcoves that are currently throwing spells towards Nyxi and Mara and Ranzen as they are running through the hall.
Yeah, I will watch and wait, or not wait, but make note of any mages that, if any mages are going to target me, and react accordingly.
All right, go ahead and roll insight for me.
21.
21. Moving through, you see the mages are very, very, tuned in on these people who are obviously, running for their lives. And as you move through, almost with a measured grace and purpose, there's a couple of the mages that look towards you about to throw spells, and they get confused at your visage, and then they don't. And as you move through the hall, getting to the exiting into the upper levels of the Narrows, you each, one after the other, reach a maze of gantries, rope bridges, and swinging lanterns, suspended hundreds of feet above the dockside. Below, you see civilians screaming, enforcers organizing into squads, and Arashi gliders launching into the air with slow sweeping arcs. The shaking hasn't stopped. Now it's worse. The gantries themselves are snapping from anchors in some areas one by one. So, what are you doing to traverse the collapsing upper decks in this area? We'll start with Nyxi.
I think that as one of the rope bridges that you said that the rope bridges are basically getting cut free and swinging down and shit like that, right?
Yeah, from the shaking, the anchors in the stone wall are starting to give and snap free.
All right, I'm gonna grab one of the ropes as I start to see it loosening up, and basically use it as a rope swing to get to a different level to be able to really lose these motherfuckers.
All right, so is this acrobatics, athletics, or sleight of hand? Which one are you using?
Let's go with acrobatics.
All right, go ahead and roll me an acrobatics. You need to beat a 15. All right, that'll do it.
17.
Yeah, as you move through, raising your arm up and just using your momentum along with the rope bridge's momentum, you are torn from your location up on this upper gantry area and just swing down to a lower area before landing safely in a more sparsely crowded area before making your way to the docks where you came from. Ranzen.
That was
We've used acrobatics already, guys.
Yep. And that was my specialty. Let's see. Let's see. Quick question: does Ranzen know that Mara has anything useful when it comes to?
Mara is not as
situation?
skilled in anything except for
Okay.
politics.
Talking. Yep, of course. I'll take your way up there. That
is why she needed you.
Well, yep. I just wonder if she's a mage or something. Is there? Let's see. How many? Let's say hypothetically, right? He uses his what do you call it? Step of the veil.
Uh-huh.
How many would it take for him to reach the top? With the poof, 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 poof. Type of thing.
Well, you want to go down, right? The top
Oh,
is
yeah, down, yeah.
collapsing.
Yeah, I went down. That's what I'm down.
I would say it would probably take you 2 well-placed ones, and you could get fairly far down.
I would do so. That's what he's
You
going to do.
take her with you?
It says, yeah. I mean, it just teleports
Nice.
me.
Sure, it can take her with you.
I mean, if a Nightcrawler can do it,
All right, so he's using the premise of me saying I based it off of Nightcrawler to make up rules
Yeah.
in the game.
Yeah,
Which
might
I'm
as well.
going-
I mean,
which I'm going to accept. But
I mean,
You said it. He just followed
exactly.
yours.
I'm just following.
fair enough. As you grasp onto Mara and you begin to try to teleport down, what ability check are you doing for this?
That's a good question, because what would it be considered?
Maybe
You
like
do,
perception to see where the
Perception?
poofs land you?
That
like
would make
perception to
sense.
find good points to land. You do the same thing with investigation or insight or survival. Like, what are you wanting to use for this?
There's no point in arguing about stealth trying to at least stay hidden while I do the poofing.
No, stealth is not.
No. Just making sure. Okay, so let's go with perception.
Okay, roll a
That was a
perception. You
long
need to get
shot.
at least a 15 to have that be a success.
Dice gods, please. Thank you.
Hey, look at there. You grab Mara and she goes, wait, where are we going? And then you jump and in a massive poof of black soot and a loud bamf, you end up on a ledge closer to the bottom, and then one more time. And the whole time Mara is screaming before you land safely on the lower decks. Mara's hyperventilating at this point, but you keep moving towards the docks. Jacob, what are you doing?
Say, though,
Yeah.
I just want to say real quick, the riz in the moment though is very peak.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's
for
really
sure.
peak.
It's shock and awe with you.
It's just peak at the moment.
Peak, I'm afraid. Can I quickly analyze my surroundings to find some alternate way down? One that's quick, but still
Yeah, sure.
still
roll,
leaves most of my bones intact.
Yeah, roll insight or
Preferably
investigation.
all of them. 28.
Insight. Looking at this, you see Nyxi grab a breaking rope bridge and swing down through falling gantry and planks, and then you see Ranzen jump off the ledge with his benefactor, teleporting and then landing and teleporting again. And you turn to the side and look at the perfectly okay staircase that you've just casually walked down to the bottom floor.
I mean, our way's cooler.
Excellent.
All right. As you all move, darting through maze-like dockside wares and buildings and people, you finally find your way to the lower docks near the outer seawall. You see guards flooding around the wharfs, and Jacob would be the last one coming into the docks, as you all are now in a dockside space where many people are fleeing to and from. No longer in skill challenge. What are you guys doing? Nyxi still has the heart. Nyxi, you see your ship not too far off.
Oh, we're definitely like stealthing my way through to get to my ship as unnoticed as physically possible.
Okay. Roll
I'm
a stealth check.
I'm trying to track Nyxi through all of this as well.
All right. Roll a perception check.
Don't fuck me.
I
Oh my
fucked you.
god.
And Ranzen, what are you doing? Perception? Yeah, coming into the dockside area, you both lose track of Nyxi as you run into each other, Jacob and Ranzen, and Mara is still kind of held in your arms, her hair frazzled. She's still kind of trying to catch her breath. What are we doing, Ranzen? Did you get the heart?
Damn it. And I'm just frantically searching the crowd for Nyxi.
You don't see her anywhere.
What about Morrigan?
Oh, that's a good question. Roll a perception check for me. You don't see Morrigan anywhere either. God, the dice are kind of fucking you tonight. Built a character
really
based
are.
around perception. Can't roll good for perception a single fucking time. Nyxi, as you weave through the crowd, you get to your small vessel that you commissioned to be picking you up. It's supposed to be taking you to one of the smaller islands in the archipelago where the Fey Gate you came through is on.
I'd have been shifting my form as I was like kind of arriving to where, I looked the same as when I came, so they didn't, raise any suspicion, and I'd just be boarding the vessel, and well, I'm ready to push off whenever you guys are.
Right. Well,
Sound closer to this, I guess?
well, it's better that we leave now anyway. It looks like the place is kind of falling apart, eh?
That it is. I really wonder what happened up there.
The ship begins unmooring from the docks.
Do I clock this ship that is leaving?
Oh yeah, you do see a ship that is quickly moving away from the dock area.
This is when a fireball will become handy.
Closest thing to a lead I've got, so I'll see if I can I'll see if I can see who's on it.
Hey.
Definitely wouldn't be out in the open. It's hiding from you, motherfuckers.
Let's see. So, here in Phantom Port, the rain is heavier now. No longer a whisper as it was earlier. Night arrived, but a full curtain falling over Phantom Port. Gantry lines snap with a groan, timbers and flame fall into the churning Arashi depths. Ranzen, chest heaving, the sound of your heartbeat mingling with the rain on the cracked docks. Mara is silent, her eyes wide with disbelief. Jakob, turning your gaze just in time to catch it. The sloop with storm black sails pulling away from the lower piers, its hull black as ink. You see a figure, a silhouette, cloaked in the shimmer of shadow and moonlight, descending below deck. No fanfare, no wave, just the faint pulse of a rose glow before a hatch seals shut, and for a breath time stills. The waves crash, the city groans. The Heart of Thorns is gone. Somewhere deep in the tangle of fog and smoke, the silence breaks. Not with a shout, but a whisper. And so beneath a city, carved from stone, gantry, and secrets, a relic slips back into the world, its roots now free to stretch to seed. Masks fell, bargains broke. One sails now with a heart not hers. Two remain behind, missions undone, stories far from over. Somewhere far beyond the Arashi depths, in the wilds of the Fae, thorns may begin to stir. This was only an auction. What comes next? And that's where we will end for tonight. Thank you, everybody who listened, and we hope to see you next time. Please check out our Twitter. This did not air on Twitch because Twitch fucked up at the beginning of the stream for some reason. So the VOD will be on YouTube at Critfire Games. But yeah, normally we would do an art shout out for D1 on Etsy. She did not do the player, or they did not do the player art